Hi, everybody, and welcome to another edition of Litter Media Live. I'm Mike Smith, along with Aaron Glandon, and this is Friday, first Friday in February, but it's also another day that's being noted by folks all over the country. And Aaron, what is that again?
It's Casey Thomas's birthday.
31, I heard.
Yeah.
You're not supposed to repeat a woman's age out loud, but happy birthday, Casey. Yeah, it's another thing called Groundhog Day today.
Oh, okay.
And if you are one that subscribes to what the groundhog says as being gospel when it comes to the coming of spring, we're in good shape if you like spring weather, because both Punxsutawney Phil in Pennsylvania and Buckeye Chuck in Marion, Ohio, both did not see their shadow, which means an early spring.
There we go. Are those the only two?
Well, I'm sure there's probably more, but Punxsutawney is the big guy, and
right.
For Ohio, Buckeye Chuck is our guy.
Okay.
So they were on the same page, so to speak. But I have it on reliable information from the National Weather Service that spring is still 6 weeks away.
Yeah.
So I hate to break that reality to you, but we're not there yet. Although we might feel like spring over the next couple of days. The forecast is calling for a mixture of sun and clouds today with a high of 46. I wouldn't be surprised if we knock that out of the park. Seems like when the sun comes out here in Chillicothe, it always warms up more than what the actual temperature is supposed to be. Sunny weekend with highs of 48 Saturday, 54 on Sunday. So, yeah, enjoy the weekend. Looks like it's going to be dry and pretty nice for February 2nd. I can remember a February 2nd where it was like 65, and we went golfing that day. The late Tracy Taylor, Dr. Tom Tharp, I think there was a fourth with me, that we went golfing at the JC's golf course because it was 65 degrees on February 2nd.
What'd you shoot?
I don't even, that's one thing that was in the shadow. I want to forget that.
Yeah.
I wasn't very good. I just enjoyed. What was it Mark Twain said? Golf is a good walk wasted. And
that's fair.
That's kind of, when Cousin Jim and I used to go out, we just enjoyed the fellowship. That's what the weather looks like. Hey, you finally got your...
Yeah.
I just noticed. See, I'm blocked out by the camera, and then when I tilted left, I saw your names on there. Good man. Finally, giving this guy some cred. Now, is it up there when Dan's name's up there?
Yeah.
Give me a bump. Give me a fist bump. Yeah. And one of these days, you're going to see him on here by himself.
Maybe.
Maybe as early as next week.
Maybe.
Dan just swallowed hard. He said, what are you talking about, Smith? You're not in charge of that. When we come back, we'll look at our topics for this Friday, February 2nd of 2024, all coming up on Litter Media Live. Let's talk about accurate heating, cooling, and plumbing. Yeah, it's been heating discussion for the last few months, but it won't be long. We'll be talking about cooling again with all these warmer temperatures. I think I did turn the air conditioner on once. Over the winter. It got so warm one particular day. We had company, you know, when you get a lot of people in the house,
yeah.
It's hot in there. But if your needs are heating, cooling, or plumbing, Accurate can do it all. They've been around for more than 4 decades. Your trusted comfort advisor. News coming up.
If you can't give true love to me, I'll understand. Just
it's only worth it if you enjoy it. Michelob Ultra.
Each week, Litter Media presents the Neil Coleman Insurance Wyandotte Mutual Player of the Week. If you have an athlete to nominate, any amateur athlete is eligible. Simply visit littermedia.com and click on Player of the Week. At the end of the year, we'll announce the Player of the Year. Make your nominations now at littermedia.com. Click on Player of the Week.
Find a career you love with Pickaway Ross Adult Education. Skilled trades careers are in high demand with no signs of slowing down. Pickaway Ross offers career training programs with expert instructors and hands-on learning tactics to create a variety of opportunities. Visit our website for more information.
This is Andy Tomlinson. When ensuring what's important to you, our agents are there when you need us the most. Tomlinson Insurance, for the best coverage at the best cost. Visit us online at tomlinsonins.com to learn more.
All right, Mike and Aaron back with you on a Friday. Let's start off with news topics for today. It's over now, the Zane Trace FFA sausage breakfast that was held early this morning. It ended at 9 o'clock, but we wanted to let you know if you were out there, you made a donation, where's my money going? Well, that goes to Nationwide Children's Hospital and the Ohio FFA Foundation. They've been doing this for decades out there at Zane Trace with the FFA students. They do it all. They create the sausage, slaughter the hogs and all that good stuff, and they do an outstanding job. Years ago, they used to bring in breakfast to us when we were doing the radio show live. Of course,
They don't do that.
This doesn't get on till 11 o'clock,
Yeah.
so they're cleaning up and probably glad to get rid of all the sausage they have. But a tip of the cap to those Zane Trace FFAers out there earlier this morning.
The Adena Mansion and Gardens has placed a call to all volunteers. Adena relies on the generosity of its volunteers. Numerous opportunities are available for anyone interested in participating in the volunteer program. On Saturday, February 24th at 9 a.m., Adena Mansion and Gardens will host a volunteer orientation breakfast. Returning volunteers or anyone interested in learning more about volunteer opportunities are invited to attend. Learn about Adena and the Worthington family, the volunteer opportunities, and sign up for training.
Now, in a related note, going back to 1946, the Hunter Smith family donated the Adena estate to the state of Ohio. 2 years later, the first restoration of the house began. In the spring of 1953, Adena Mansion opened to the public. Now, the second restoration on the mansion was in 2003. That's where the visitor center was also built. So what was the estate like during those years of restoration and in the years in between? Well, as Aaron mentioned, on Saturday, February 24th at 9 a.m., they have the volunteer event. Well, 2 hours later at 11 a.m., you can join local Worthington family historian Mary Ann Brown for a lecture on both restorations and more. If you'd like to get more information for that free event, you can call Adena Mansion at 772-1500.
The Division of Financial Institutions at the Ohio Department of Commerce encourages all Ohioans to be proactive in protecting their online information by participating in changing your password. That's something you might need to do, Mike. According to the FBI's 2022 Internet Crime Report, Ohio ranked 7th in the country in terms of individuals who are victims of cyber crimes. That year, approximately 13,659 individuals lost a total of more than $180 million.
Wow.
In addition, according to the U.S. Department of Homeland Security, nearly half of all American adults have had their personal information exposed by cyber criminals.
Have you had any issues with anything like that yet?
You know what? I get these scam calls,
Yeah.
and I feel like there's somewhere out there that has my phone number, and they're just selling that out there.
Right. And I had one this morning, and I've gotten so I just let it ring, and when it stops, then I get in and block that number. So you're out. Discover the perfect blend of relaxation and nature immersion at Shawnee State Park's Nature Wellness Weekend, which will be April 19th through 21st. You can unwind your mind, rejuvenate your body, and reconnect with nature through a variety of low-impact activities. ODNR's Division of Parks and Watercraft co-sponsors the event at Shawnee State Park Lodge and Friends of Shawnee State Park. Now, this tranquil weekend will offer a variety of sessions which are proven to heal the mind, body, and spirit. You know, the good Lord made nature.
Yeah.
And isn't that a pretty picture
That is a pretty picture.
of the pedestrian bridge down there? Give Shawnee State Park Lodge a call about that weekend event, which again is April 19th through the 21st.
A spring painting fundraiser event is coming up March 14th, Pi Day, with Cindy B's Art Boutique. Half of the proceeds will go towards a new Pike County library. Spaces are limited. Call to register, the number right there. And if you're listening on the radio, it's 740-947-4921.
Now, they've had a number of these fundraisers, and they will continue to do so. They've got a certain amount of money. They got to get matching grant funds matching funds for the grant. So you'll see a lot of these fundraising events pop up probably over the next several months. So keep that in mind.
Are you much of a painter?
No, my daughter and my wife are the painters and the people that draw. I can't even draw a good stick man.
Me neither.
Maybe now, Dan Ramey is actually a good.
I think we've talked about this before.
He does a good job drawing things. Now, he doesn't do it very often, at least not in front of me. But, I poke fun at Dan about a lot of things, but I want to give credit where credit due. He does do a good job with his sketching. Maybe he can sketch something out.
We need to have like a Litter Media Live Bob Ross type thing where he teaches us how to.
Now, just, feel it is this is your little world. I used to love to watch Bob Ross just so I could take a nap because he's so soothing. He just put you to sleep. When we come back, we'll take a look at sports, some high school basketball from last night, what's on tap tonight, and for the weekend, all coming up here on Litter Media Live. Scioto Valley Dumpsters, 253-8389 is the number to call. They'll give you a free quote. You say, Carl, I need a dumpster for a day. I need a dumpster for a week, 2 weeks. All that can be negotiated with the rates that they offer. It's for Ross and surrounding counties. Give them a call, Scioto Valley Dumpsters. Sports coming up.
Our mobile banking app is changing the way we bank. Things are getting easier. Transactions are getting safer. And you have access 24/7. All the functionality of banking you're used to, made easier to use. Anywhere, anytime, and more secure than ever. Simple, seamless, safe. Download our Kingston National Bank mobility app today.
At Rathkamp Financial, we act as your advocate in all wealth matters. We believe in long-term relationships and working to earn your continued trust with our customized investment solutions. Our greatest satisfaction comes from working with clients for many years and helping them realize their dreams.
I was looking for a first job. I had been babysitting and decided it was something for a little more permanent. It pays very well. It's convenient. You can make your own schedule with the flexibility. That's something that I like. The people that I work with are great. I wouldn't ask for a better crew or management team to work for.
And check out your McDonald's locations in Chillicothe, Waverly, Circleville, and Greenfield. McDonald's.
I'm loving it.
All right. Girls high school basketball last night. We're getting down to the nitty-gritty where league championships are being decided. Of course, the FAC girls, that's already been decided. And another title was decided last night in SOC 3. This was not decided, but Minford takes a big step towards getting that done for the girls with a win over Wheelersburg. Waverly Lady Tigers, they've been red hot of late. They knocked off Wheelersburg last week, and then they beat Valley last night in overtime. Portsmouth West was also a winner. I think West and Minford girls are tied for first place, if I'm not mistaken. Other winners on down the line, non-conference, Harvest Prep over Chillicothe, Miami Trace, Jackson, Marietta, all non-conference winners. Portsmouth still holds a one-game lead on Fairland's Lady Dragons, both winning last night. That rematch between those two squads is next Tuesday, February 6th, down at Fairland. And I don't think we're showing it on there, but in girls basketball, another championship that was decided was in the TVC last night as Athens beat Alexander 45-38. With that win, the Lady Bulldogs clinch at least a share of the TVC title. A couple of boys' games last night. Valley beat Waverly 49-42. Ironton St. Joe in a tight one over Clay in overtime, 68-64. Fairfield Union beat Watterson in non-conference, and Bern Union was a winner. Fairfield Union boys, they beat Watterson 53-47, but the fellow that we gave the Athlete of the Week to yesterday, Caleb Schmelzer, he was on fire again last night, had 30 points in their upset win over Taze Valley. He had 31 in that game last night. And what's on tap tonight?
Tonight, the Litter Media Game of the Week radio show is Paint Valley at Piketon. You'll be there. Tom Beard will be there. It's going to be a good one.
We'll let Dan in there. He'll have all
Dan
the photos
might, yeah,
and all that
he's
stuff.
allowed to be there.
Yeah. He's a big guy down in Pike County.
Yeah.
And where are you going to be?
I will be at the Circleville and Fairfield Union girls game. I'll be wearing blue.
And the reason for that?
Reason for that, let me pull up the topics for yesterday so I can give you the most information.
Edgerton,
yeah.
She was in that recent auto crash, and they're supporting her, and they're even asking the away crowd, if you would, to wear blue tonight.
Yeah. You pretty much covered it.
So that's why you're there.
That is why I'm there. I wanted to give you the most information. Yeah. And it's their first game since the car crash that injured her, and they're hosting Fairfield Union, asking fans to wear blue in support of Addison.
First game at home. They beat Washington Courthouse earlier this week over at Courthouse. So check that out tonight. And Aaron will have a story about that game on littermedia.com afterwards, and probably will be Xing or tweeting some updates throughout the night, because Lady Tigers are undefeated for the season going into that one. Last night, Chillicothe boys won the FAC swimming championships. Congratulations to the Cavs. They defend their title from last year. McLean, Hillsborough, Miami-Trace, and Washington Courthouse follow in that order, respectively. Also, Chillicothe High School Athletic Hall of Fame induction ceremonies are tomorrow. The Hall of Fame Athletics Committee will induct 2 classes in a combined ceremony tomorrow. The 10 new members will be recognized before the Cavs varsity basketball game, with Jackson. Our own Dan Ramey will also be there as a member of that Hall of Fame committee. And also, Adena High School graduate and former head coach at Alderson Broadus, Travis Everhart, is now the new offensive line coach at Morehead State University. Morehead State is a FCS football program. Travis, as we mentioned, was the head coach at Alderson Broadus, but that school closed. I mean, they closed down the whole school because of financial problems. So that was the only reason that Travis wasn't still there as the head coach. But moving up, so to speak, as the new offensive line coach at Morehead State.
And finally in sports, the Cleveland Cavaliers get a win over Memphis.
I think they're 28-13 now, or something like that.
How'd you know I was about to ask you their record?
Well, I know they were 26-13 at one time. They had a winning streak that they got snapped, but I think they've won a couple of games since that time. You ever been to Memphis?
No, I don't think so.
Isn't that where Elvis is from originally, or is that Tupelo, Mississippi?
I think Mississippi. I've been to where he lived in Mississippi.
Yeah. Well, born, or you're talking about Graceland? No, where's Graceland? Is that Nashville?
I thought that was in Tennessee.
Yeah, but he was born in Tupelo.
When I was a kid, we went to some Elvis thing in Mississippi. That's all I know.
Isn't Tupelo in Mississippi? Oh, come on.
I was pretty young.
Well, I mean, yeah, Elvis, come on. Is your mom a big Elvis fan?
No, but my sister was growing up.
Oh, is that right?
Yeah.
Katie. Okay, did not know that. All right. Well, when we come back, we'll have this date in history. We're going back to 1887. We're going to let Aaron tell you this one, and then we'll talk about what movies you've seen of late. All that ahead on Litter Media Live.
For transportation options in Ross County, call Ross County Health District's Mobility Management Team, 740-779-9652.
Dixie Chopper. Speed when you need it.
Visit your local Dixie Chopper dealer today or visit DixieChopper.com.
You haven't had vodka soda like this. No one has. Made with the world's smoothest vodka plus real juice. New White Claw Vodka Soda.
I think we did this one last year, but I thought we'd bring it back out since Buckeye Chuck and Punxsutawney Phil both did not see their shadows. So Aaron's got this date in 1887.
It's an important annual event. In 1887, Groundhog Day, featuring a rodent meteorologist, is celebrated for the first time at Gobbler's Knob in Punxsutawney, Pennsylvania. According to tradition, if a groundhog comes out of its hole on this day and sees its shadow, it gets scared and runs back into its burrow, predicting 6 more weeks of winter weather. No shadow means an early spring, so no shadow this year.
Mm-hmm.
Groundhog Day has its roots in the ancient Christian tradition of Candlemas, and I'd never heard of this before.
Yeah,
when the clergy would bless and distribute candles needed for winter.
So this goes, if you what we observed started in 1887. But if you really want to get back to the roots of it, you're going back probably a couple thousand years.
Yeah.
But there he is, Punxsutawney Phil. And as Aaron said, he did not see his shadow this morning, and neither did Buckeye Chuck up in Marion, Ohio. Longtime buddy of Dan Ramey's and mine, Paul James, who's the morning guy at the Marion radio station. I don't know if he MCs that, but I know they broadcast from that event every year. So you told me this morning you saw a movie the other day.
I saw a movie on Sunday.
And
it was the Mean Girls musical. And you said you've never seen the original Mean Girls.
I've just heard of the title.
Which is a classic in every sense of the word. It's truly hilarious.
So it's a comedy? Does it intend to be a comedy?
Oh, yeah.
Or is it just a bad?
No, it intends to be a comedy. Yeah. It's a Lorne Michaels production.
Oh, okay.
Tina Fey wrote it. But this new one, there was a Broadway adaptation of the original movie that made it into a musical. And this new movie is an adaptation of the Broadway musical.
Okay.
And it's not very good.
Not very. Do you ever watch Svengoolie on Saturday nights on MeTV?
No.
He shows science fiction and like horror movies that are so bad they're funny.
Yeah.
In fact, if you ever look at like when you call up the channel, and you press information about the movie, it'll usually say science fiction comedy or horror comedy. But I'm sure when it came out, it was not intended to be comedy, but
right.
It's just so bad. What was the Mystery Science Theater? They did something like that. Where they would show this movie, and it was so campy, but they had like space creatures or robots or whatever with the human host.
Right.
Cracking jokes through the whole movie.
Me and my friends watched a movie a couple years ago called Llamageddon.
Llamageddon.
Yeah, really bad.
Did it have llamas in it?
It was like a llama came from space and tried to destroy humanity.
Sharknado movies.
Yeah, I've seen Sharknado.
I think I watched part of one of them.
It's not even like the first one that I watched. It wasn't even funny. It was just boring.
Mm-hmm.
I wish they would make it more over the top so I could laugh at it.
So are these like tornadoes with sharks in them? Is that what it is? Or
it's like a combination. There was at least I remember, I saw it in middle school, I think. There was like a flood and a tornado at the same time, and it happened to bring all the sharks into a Sharknado. Yeah.
Wow.
But there was a scene where, was it Jason Statham that was in it? No, he's in the Meg. The main character had a chainsaw, and there was a shark coming right at him, and he just stood up with the chainsaw, and the shark got split in half.
Golly. Now, I know, and this is not a biblical story, but there have been a couple of instances in meteorology history where it rained frogs.
Yeah.
Have you ever heard of that?
I have heard of that.
And I don't know that they've ever figured out what causes that or how that happens, whether they get sucked up in a hurricane, and I don't know how much longer after the event that they start dropping out of the sky, but that would be pretty freaky.
Yeah, it would.
Is this one of the plagues of Egypt or what? Anything else on the movie front?
No, just avoid the new Mean Girls musical.
The Chosen, season 4, the first 3 episodes are due to be shown in movie theaters for the next 2 weeks. I think it started yesterday. Jonathan Romy, who portrays Jesus in the series, he was on an interview show I saw yesterday, and that's what he was saying. In the theaters for 2 weeks, and then they go back to the streaming. But I noticed here at the Chillicothe Theater, they were only showing episodes 1 and 2, not all 3.
That's weird.
Not sure whether they're going to show episode 3 alone next week or what the deal is, but there are theaters in the central and western Ohio areas that are showing all 3, which makes it a 3.5-hour experience in the theater.
Right.
So hopefully they give it enough time so I can go to the bathroom.
In between episodes?
Yeah, in between. But that's some of the things that are happening out at the movie theaters around you. That's going to wrap it up for not only this Friday, but this week. Again, a busy weekend ahead of us. Litter Media Radio down at Piketon tonight, where the Paint Valley Bearcats take on the Piketon Red Streaks. Will be on the air somewhere around 7:15. Aaron will be up at the Circleville Lady Tigers game against Fairfield Union for that big event, a blue out, they're calling it, for everybody wearing blue in honor of Addison Edgington. And then for those of you who are Chillicothe High School fans, don't forget the Hall of Fame induction ceremonies between the JV and varsity games versus Jackson. And you can follow all of the scores on our X or Litter Twitter page, as well as our scoreboard page later tonight on littermedia.com. Don't forget, Sunday is the girls basketball tournament pairings. That will be released, we're guessing, somewhere around 3:30. That's been the normal. But since they're using RPI ratings instead of coach seeds, it could be earlier, but we're still figuring on 3:30. If it does come out a little bit early, we always tell you on Facebook as well as Litter Twitter that it's on our website at littermedia.com, where you'll have a link right there to the Southeast District and the schools that we follow in the Central District as well. That's coming up this Sunday. The boys' pairings come out the following Sunday. So that's going to wrap it up for all of us today. We'll catch up with you at the ball game tonight. So until that time, for Aaron Glandon, my co-host, and for Dan Ramey and all of us at Litter Media, have a great weekend, everybody, and we'll see you tonight on the radio.